Hi everyone, it's Eugene from Jinjer and you're watching Metalshop TV.
What's up guys, Metalshop TV here. We are at Fajtfest 2021 with another interview, and this one's gonna be really special because I'm sitting here with Eugene from Jinjer. How are you doing, sir?
Hi everyone, absolutely fine. It's cool to be here after so many years. After we played here last time, I think we were here in 2016. Yeah, and also after a year and a half of playing no shows. Yeah, the pandemic is slowly going past, and now being able to play is so precious that, you know, I couldn't say no to Fajtfest when we got an offer to play. Of course, it's cool to be here. Just awesome. Yeah, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is only our 23rd interview together, so I hope it's gonna go really well.
Hope so too. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your journey to Fajtfest been like? What was your travel from Ukraine to here? Was it a good trip?
It was a very good and smooth trip. Yeah, compared to the ones which we had before during the pandemic, so just not long ago. A trip to Prague, we flew from Kiev to Prague, was just okay. Yeah, just simply we jumped on the plane, landed in Prague, had a bit of control, did tests, yeah, PCR tests. Yeah, waited for the results at the hotel, being quarantined, and well, here we are now. So nothing really complicated.
So no bus this time around?
No bus, yeah, no bus. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's hard to say. Those times are gone.
So speaking of bus, what do you do at bus to kill some time when you have to travel a lot?
You know, if it is a long tour, like and very tight tour, there isn't really much of free time. Honestly, there isn't. Yeah, you are just you have this routine of waking up same time, doing the same shit. Just you brush your teeth, have some breakfast, do morning exercises before breakfast or after. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, and then usually you just have an hour or two of free time, and this is the only free time you have. Like, I know, maybe watch a movie, or I usually just text family. Yeah, and then it's sound check. After sound check, it's meet and greet. After meet and greet, maybe some time to have rest. Maybe it's some time just to have a meal. And in a few hours, it's a show time. So there isn't really much to do. Yeah, when there is a day off, of course, day offs are precious, cool, because you can go sightseeing if you're not far away from really cool places.
Which is maybe surprising, because I think most people think that, yeah, musicians when they tour, they must have so much free time.
Not at all, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I spoke to you, it was about 4 years ago, before your show in Prague, and you were playing a tiny club. And now moving forward, you are playing as a headliner at a festival, and before pandemic you played in front of hundreds, thousands of people across the world, and you are basically one of the hardest things in metal right now. So I guess life in Jinjer must be pretty good now.
It isn't that much different from what it was before.
Really?
Yeah. Well, seriously. From the point of view of money and just, you know, wealth, we ain't rich people. We just maybe, of course, we managed to make some money, but it's just all right, you know, just to be all right. Yeah, and as for the amount of work to do, it's just even more than it used to be, because now there are, especially after when pandemics is just slowly getting down, more and more people want to see us there and there and there, and the schedule, the life schedule is just getting filled now. And apart from this, it's about, you know, working on new videos, working on new content, keeping our social media alive constantly. And it's this workload is just growing and growing and growing. So that is why I'm saying that it isn't that much different from what it was before. Yeah.
And what do you do to stay grounded? Because fame could be addictive.
Come on, I'm not that famous.
A little bit.
Yeah,
more than most people.
But the difference isn't relative at all. Yeah, I just walk along the crowd here at the Fajtfest, and I feel okay about this. Nobody is jumping on me. I mean, it's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I think when people start talking about fame, they misunderstand this and mistake this for fame of, you know, these super huge big stars like Beyonce, for example. Yeah, it's incomparable. It's absolutely incomparable. Different levels. Yeah.
It's not Johnny Depp fame.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this is what I mean.
Okay, we are right now in such a specific point of time. So how would you reflect on the last year and a half for your band? Because this was a distracting time for a lot of things, but bands also.
Of course.
So was it really difficult for you, or was it like, okay, at least we have a time to create a new album or whatever?
Yeah, it was difficult from the mental point of view, because we, after so many years, after touring so many years, we kind of got addicted to this. This is the lifestyle we had, and we were deprived of it. We couldn't play live, we couldn't travel, and that was a bit hard, you know, to accept. As for the rest of the things, it was all right. Yeah, we were actually glad that finally we had time to, you know, work on our music in a different way, different from, again, everything was before. We finally had time, you know, just to sit tight in the studio for long. We were working on this upcoming album for a year and a half in general. So never had such a chance before.
And what did you do besides creating new album? I guess you must have had a lot of time. Much more time than before.
Well, yeah, there was some free time, but I was doing sports, and in between I was sick, yeah, a few times, seriously sick, yeah, and it actually took a lot of my free time, I was first time sick last fall, like in November, I think I got COVID, and it took me like 3 weeks. I felt all right. It wasn't that severe. I felt all right, but I had to stay home for 3 weeks. Completely destroyed, yeah, all my plans. But I think it's even, anyway, it's fortunate outcome. Yeah, fortunate outcome. Yeah, and then imagine this: in last February, I had chicken pox, or wind pox, you may call it.
Oh.
Yeah, the thing which usually children have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never had it when I was a kid.
So
I wasn't immune to this, and I got this shit, and again I spent 3 weeks at home going nowhere.
Yeah, and I heard that it hits you harder.
Much harder, yeah. That was actually worse than Corona.
Damn.
Yeah. And it turns out that of all this year and a half I spent being just sick at home, a month and a half. Yeah, it's a bit unfair. But as for the rest of the time, I went to see my family in Russia. I just did things, you know, family stuff. Yeah, and did sports, of course.
Yeah.
Every single time I could, I went to the gym and did jiu-jitsu.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that's my thing.
Okay. So let's get to the most important thing, and obviously your new album, Jinjer number 4, Wallflowers. That sounds pretty. It sounds pretty, and it sounds poetic. But I guess there's something more into it that you could tell us?
Of course, Wallflowers is actually, I don't know if you know, but it has an indirect meaning. Really shy people can be called wallflowers, those who are not being noticed by the others. And this is this is why the album bears this title. Tatiana had a number of different options for the title, and we already chose the one, but at the same time she was looking for a title for the song Wallflower. And this is how she came up with the term Wallflower, and she thought that this song and the title just works very well for the whole album, because it kind of creates the whole vibe. And this is how it turned out. Yeah. So it came from the song Wallflower, first of all.
So it's a theme that goes throughout whole
more
record.
or less,
Okay.
because Tatiana says this album is a manual for herself, is a manual for Tatiana.
It's gonna be pretty personal.
It's very personal, and in each song she just touches topics which were very problematic for her, her own issues. So and I believe that this is what she really is, a wallflower, even though people do not really understand how she, especially seeing her on stage.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
then they just cannot make it match her real essence and her essence on stage. But it is really like that. Outside the stage she is shy, she prefers to stand aside from the crowd, and this is what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know it's a typical question, but I gotta ask it anyway. How would you compare this one to your previous ones? I mean, music-wise, what is the difference this time around?
Of course, I mean, time flies and we are growing. We're all moving somewhere, developing, and of course, this album is an evolution of the band. No surprise, and just because of the fact that we had so much time working on it, apart from songwriting, which of course developed, and we got to the next level with songwriting, but of course the production on this record is just a level up, because when we went to Max to record the album, and we already had the concept of the sound. We knew exactly how each instrument will sound. We knew how the mix will sound. Yeah, and we just explained this to Max, and Max even made it even better. This is how it happened. And all of that was possible just because we had so much time.
I also heard that it might be a bit heavier this time around.
It's way heavier.
Oh.
It's like nothing from our past discography can be compared to this in terms of heaviness.
Wow, that sounds heavy. Okay, so from your official statement, Wallflowers is a different kind of album musically and visually. It's a clear statement that we are different from most artists. So what makes Jinjer different from other artists, according to you?
Maybe because we are not winning kids with guitars. Yeah. Yeah, there is
Shots fired.
There is a tendency now that most of the bands actually are getting lighter and softer and lighter. Yeah, and maybe using this for the sake of getting a bigger audience, their own choice, but not ours. Yeah, and this is definitely a difference. Like when most of the other bands go into the realms of something soft and melodic and of course good, I'm not saying bad, we just went the opposite way and made an album which is even heavier than everything we played before. Of course, on this album there are soft moments. Yeah, just for the dramatic reason, because we love the dynamics in music. But even them, sometimes even surprise me. I re-listen to the album sometimes, and there are a few parts when I every time I'm surprised how it turns out. Yeah, so I'm kind of sorry. I'm proud of what we just did.
It's perfect. So would you call it a statement record?
Every record must be a statement by every band. Otherwise, what's the point of doing this? Of course, it's a statement, like any other band and their album.
Well, if every band would do that, the world would be a better place.
World will be a better place eventually.
Yeah, okay. So, the first single of this album is Vortex.
Yeah.
Why did you pick this specific song to represent the whole thing?
Because from this song everything started. This is not the first song which was written musically, but this is the first song which Tatiana picked to write lyrics. And it maybe in some way triggered the whole, vibe for the whole album. So and it was back in February, I think. We were thinking about, first single, and and Tatiana told us that she just had written the lyrics for Vortex, and we just picked it as the first single. Yeah, everybody loved the song musically. Everybody loved the song even more when Tatiana recorded the vocals. Why not? Yeah, and this is a song which has a bit of everything. Yeah, it starts a bit in a soft way, then it turns out the real hurricane, vortex. Yeah, so why not? But even more to come, anyway.
And if you could take us a bit more about the lyrical content of that song.
Of Vortex?
Yes.
It's a song about heavy thoughts and how impactful and harmful they can be for people. We all know this. Yeah, that just sometimes we get stuck with something and it keeps growing inside our mind and just destroys us. And well, it's just the way it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just watching your concert at the Hellfest from home, and what a kick-ass show that was. So if you could tell us a bit more about the whole experience of that, because it turned out like one of the best shows I saw in a long time.
We didn't expect it to be so good. We actually didn't even know how it would be. We went there. We had our light guy and our sound guy with us, and that's it. Very limited crew. We just went on stage and started playing, and then all of a sudden all these fires and things started, exploding around.
Yeah, it looks like a Rammstein show or something.
And it turned out then that our light guy was co-working with the local guy who was, controlling all that pyro, and it was a fantastic show. I enjoyed it a lot. The only problem was just gaps in between songs, because it was complete silence. Yeah, the song is over and there is nothing in response, and it was after the first 3-4 songs I was feeling very, out of, like a fish out of water.
Well, I hope it's gonna be different tonight.
Hope so too. Yeah, okay. I know it's gonna be different. Okay.
Yeah. Well, from a different topic, Eugene, I know you are a big Mudvayne fan. So what do you think of them coming back together?
Oh man, I'm extremely excited about that. I'm really looking forward to the new music. If they are up to making new music, this is what I'm really looking forward. And of course, it will be cool, to play together and see them live. Yeah. This band had a big influence, big impact on each of us, everyone in the band. So we kind of in debt.
They should create a new music. We are waiting for it.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, speaking of other bands, one last question. If you could pick one band that you haven't toured with yet, that you would like to tour with. your dream band, and the one you think would come up together good with Jinjer?
It's very, very hard to say. Very hard to say about the band I would like to tour with, because there are so many. Yeah, I keep saying one and the same things. It's like I would love to tour with Opus, for example.
Yeah.
I would love to tour with Mastodon.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a tour, and this is something really it's a sort of, you know, a dream tour for me. As for the bands which will match with us, this is even harder. This is harder. Yeah, this is harder, because it can be actually any band. Any band. I know the guys from Sepultura, and we haven't had talks about, you know, touring sometime together. But this is actually what would be awesome to tour with them.
That would be one hell of a tour.
Yeah, one hell of a tour. Yeah, because, well, again, Sepultura is a band that we all grew up with. Yeah, and they are now in the best shape they have ever been.
I saw them before pandemic, and they are playing
In the best, and their last album, man, it's absolutely different thing. They managed. I need to say this. They are one of the few bands who managed to create something completely different, but at the same time remaining themselves, having such a long career. So how old they are now, and as a band, and they did it. Awesome.
and that's the best way to end up this interview. So thank you, Eugene, so much for your time once again. It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure to talk to you, and enjoy your show tonight, and best of luck with your new album. Any last words for our fans?
I keep saying the same thing, just peace, love and harmony to you guys, and can't wait for the time when we see each other at shows.
Okay, so Eugene, Jinjer for Metalshop TV, rock on.